everyone, featuring Ian Faria with Vinay Jain.
Guys, welcome to another episode of what we call the Keep It Real series. Today gets as real as it is. We have a person who all of you probably already know, but let me introduce him a little bit. So you were in the Merchant Navy,
Yes,
you were a builder,
yes,
then you got into counseling, then you got into training, and now you're a performance coach.
yes.
So what do you do? What are you? What are you?
This is a question I get asked most of the time. Who am I? What am I? Actually, to be honest, I'm, work in progress.
Okay,
Yeah, I'm excellence waiting to happen all the time.
that's a nice way to put it. Very different
We're all
way.
different at different levels. And every level that you have, you're supposed to be the best that you can be.
Okay, and how do you
That's
strive to be the best at what you can be?
See, one nice thing is to compete with yourself. Whatever you do in life. Your best competition is inside you. If I compete with you, Vinay, then some place you're going to beat me and then I'm going to feel bad about that. But if I'm competing with myself, I know I can beat myself every single day. But in beating myself every single day, I am a better person the next day.
So,
Yeah, so that's how I see it. So much for that. Like this, distractions happen in life.
yeah.
You know how it is?
yeah. Something are taking you away. Coming to distraction, next point. Distraction. What are distractions? Because people generally think, like, let's say parents, when you're studying, a phone is a distraction. But today, the phone can be a better tool than your book.
Yeah,
in
it
order
could
to
be.
study.
It could be, but it all depends on how you use
Use the
it.
distraction.
Yeah. So we don't know. If you look at the philosophical principles, a distraction could be nature's way of telling you need to be somewhere else.
Okay.
Yeah, and so there are no real distractions. I think everything happens for a reason. And if you can't handle that distraction, like I just handled that phone ringing in between, it's okay, deal with it, man. Life is going to give you those distractions all the time. You're focused on work and a pretty lady walks by, what happens? Some of you might say distraction, some of you might say opportunity.
Ah,
It all depends on how you look at it, Vinay.
perspective.
It
Perspective.
is about perspective.
I mean, I don't know what to say. I got me stumped already in the start of this.
So okay, let's give you some more food for thought. It's about perspectives, but more than that, it's about the choices you make after that. So am I going to follow the distraction? Am I going to leave it aside? That's important. So it's about decisions or choices.
Decisions.
Yes.
That's a big word. I mean, in the most literal sense, because our decisions basically chart out what we're going to do in terms of what we do, what we don't
Yes. Actually, Tony Robbins said it very beautifully. He says it's in the moments of your decisions that your destiny is shaped.
do. Okay.
It's in the moments of your decisions.
The destiny is shaped. Your destiny is shaped.
Your decisions are in the now. The destiny is in the future.
Okay.
But those decisions make your path clearer.
Okay.
Yes.
Wherever it be.
Wherever
it leads.
You can leave the highway.
Okay.
You can take a detour. You can come back to the highway. You can take a new highway.
Wherever
It's
it
a
leads.
decision.
It's all happening for a reason.
Yes.
It's all happening for a
Yes.
reason.
And like Steve Jobs said, you can only look at the dots and make sense of them looking backward.
Yes.
You can't connect the dots looking forward. In forward mode, you might think, where am I? What am I doing?
So what? How do I stay in the present then? If everybody had to be, I mean, everybody's listening, everybody's watching this. So how do we stay in the present?
By being grounded, by being in the moment. Like for instance, I cannot bring the distraction of the phone into play.
Correct.
It's done and dusted. Now I get back to the moment, which is Vinay, me talking to him,
Okay.
me helping him to understand some dimensions of life that I've already been through much earlier.
Correct.
Yeah, but see, that's my dimension of life. Now, hopefully in this discussion, a lot more people will get a lot more ideas.
A lot more ideas, which is I think the biggest point. I mean, I think the biggest
so.
human need could be when we inspire somebody else.
Yes.
That could be the biggest human need.
I think the biggest human need really is to be acknowledged,
Okay.
is to be validated,
Okay.
is to be of some use to others.
And as you said previously,
Some purpose.
you said previously that when you validate yourself, you're done and dusted. Then you don't go out.
Yeah, so there's also a threat in that.
Okay.
If you validate yourself to the extent that you feel I don't care about the rest of the world, then I think you're more I, me, myself focused.
Okay.
And that's not what the world requires. The world requires someone who can be useful to the broader masses.
The society.
Yes, society, you can look at it, community, you can look at it, your tribe, if it's a smaller group.
Okay. Okay.
It's important.
It's important to look at the entire society as well, because I read a lot of self-help books
Mhm.
because I think I needed a lot. And everybody, all the authors have one point in common, which what they say is that whatever you do, whatever you become, that is the responsibility entrusted on you by the society. So is that a way which would help somebody like me at my age to
No,
go
I
ahead?
don't believe in anything being thrust upon you.
Okay,
I believe we should come to the stage where we believe that everything that we do is by choice.
okay,
It's not by force.
my job. Okay,
Yeah. So if I want to do something, I don't say somebody made me do it. But that's an excuse. So for those people with a low self-esteem, they're always wanting to blame someone or make some excuse.
okay,
So one of my mantras is a very simple one. No blame, no excuses, only responsibility.
and that will take us forward.
Yeah. The moment we start to realize that, boss, my life is my own and where I reach is dependent on what I did or did not do, then life takes on a new meaning. I stop looking outside for reasons for why I failed. I start looking for reasons inside on how I can succeed.
Okay,
And I think that's really where the game of life is played.
okay. And there's one common complaint
Mm-hmm.
from all the youth out there that Ian sir is always giving corporate training, their performance coaching is all for people who are working, people are already in the game. I
Yes.
had to say in the
Yes.
game. But by 2021, it is widely said, and stats are saying it, that half of India's population will be under the age of 25.
No, you're right. And today, this is a young India.
So, what is your plan for the youth?
Oh, we've got plenty of plans for the youth. In fact, we are now starting a youth wing of TILT. TILT stands for the India Leadership Think Tank.
Okay,
And there are kids of members in TILT who are pushing their parents saying, when are you going for the next TILT meeting? Why aren't you preparing your speech?
okay,
Recently, yesterday we had a meeting. Day before yesterday, someone's daughter asked her, this is a 13-year-old kid asking her mom, Mom, you're doing a speech tomorrow, so are you prepared?
okay.
And she says, no, I don't know, I'll have to see something in the morning. She says, Mom, are you crazy? It's 10:30 at night, let's work. And they work till 2 o'clock in the morning to prepare the mom's speech.
Wow.
Yeah. So here's a 13-year-old kid says that tilt is good for you. You know what? You got to do something about it. Now that kid is a 13-year-old who could be one of our tilt youth members.
Of leaders of the country in
Yes,
future.
it's the future leaders we are preparing. So on one hand, we are preparing with leaders who the education system or something didn't really prepare them adequately enough. It's a VUCA world out there. It's volatile, uncertain, complex and ambiguous. How are we prepared for that? Education doesn't train us for that. So we're all the time reworking people's minds and their mindsets.
Okay. So human psychology is where you're
Yes,
working at
yes,
right now. If I
yes.
had to put it down in
Psychology, approach, mindset, all those are keywords.
the most definite, the most definitive phrase if I could put at what Mr. Faria is doing right now is he's
Just
working
call
on
me
human
Ian,
psychology.
Vinay. This Mr. Faria and all that makes me look like kind of an old man.
No, but it's a little difficult for somebody who's always looked up to you and who's learned.
So we can have respect for each other, but we don't have to be on the same plane. It's fine.
Okay. But
Yeah.
that's widely said, right? That people who are elder to you, people who are at a different stage of life, please be respectful to them.
Yeah, I think those are old ways where people controlled us. They controlled
Okay.
us through age, through experience, through designation, through title. Come on, let's stop it. I respect you, Vinay, for what you're doing. Now you're trying to encourage and enhance the youth. I think that's brilliant. And we should support people like you. So I'd be happy to do whatever I can to help the youth.
I think this podcast is enough for the youth
Really?
to get pumped. But more into tilt.
Okay.
Into tilt.
Sure. Good.
You say that future leaders are being created here.
Yes.
What kind of leaders, sir? Oh, yeah, sorry.
The kind of leaders who can make an impact for India. See, our objective is not to make leaders just for them to make more money or to be more powerful
Okay.
or to have a bigger house. That's just passe. It's along the way. Our objective is how do we create better leaders for India?
Okay.
Sure.
Spectacle always creates attention.
Well,
Spectacle does it?
it does, but sometimes we do it for the wrong reason. If you're doing it just to create attention, you're really already lost.
Okay.
But if the intention is that I want something good to come out of it, it doesn't matter if you ruffle some feathers in the moment.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. But long term, you'll gain. So I prefer to lose the battle and to win the war
Okay.
rather than win the battle and lose
So
the war.
which is a lot of people's how do I say the premise on what a lot
Most of
people
us are
run
living
on
for today and we don't know what's happening tomorrow.
Correct.
I believe we have to have a little more of a long term vision. We got to look ahead.
Yes.
And we've got to do things that are going to make a difference tomorrow.
Not just to us, but to the world as a whole, right? Because
And you guys have got a bigger tomorrow than we have.
yes, definitely.
And it's our duty to make sure that you get the help that you require to ensure that there's a better tomorrow.
But there's a stigma against saying, going to a counselor, going to a performance coach, saying that, oh, you're accepting that you're not good enough.
Yeah, sure.
And you're going to
and
become
that's the
good.
starting point. The starting point is to know that I have a flaw. And if you don't want to accept that, you live your life with that flaw, thinking that flaw is, an embellishment.
Okay.
And I think that's where we all screw ourselves.
So how do we change that
Accept
mindset?
that we all have flaws.
How do we accept, sir? Everybody says accept it.
Very easy. Be realistic. Be vulnerable. Say, I have a few problems. Most people today don't know how to do public speaking. Less than 1% of the world can speak well in public.
Yeah.
But we don't want to go for a class to enhance that. Some of us try to fool ourselves by saying, if I can talk to you one-on-one, I can talk to you
Everybody,
in public.
yeah.
But it's not the same thing. You
Everything
saw what
changes.
happened at the recent OBA meeting. Very few people who spoke. Such a big hall of people. And we've got good education, we've got good training. What the hell are we doing with it?
Yes.
So we need to pick up these new skills. Marshall Goldsmith in his book, What Got You Here Won't Get You There, is saying that every ladder that there's on that book has a different skill set or a mindset required.
Okay.
You climb to the top of one ladder, that's not good enough to even be at the bottom of the next ladder.
Oh.
And then you need new skills to climb every rung of that ladder till you reach the top of that ladder.
Ladder.
And then you got to jump onto the bottom of the next ladder, and that goes on and on.
The process is continuous.
You have to keep learning. That's the only way.
I mean, that's what the process is continuous, right?
Yes.
And learning. How do you learn? Of course, you're an avid reader. You're a voracious reader. I think avid would be a very bad term to use. But I'd say
I read about a
voracious.
book a day, so for me,
Yeah.
learning is everything. See, I believe one thing, Vinay. If you're not smarter today than you were yesterday, you wasted 24 hours on the planet.
Okay.
I don't think it's our birthright to lose time.
Right now.
Yeah, you have to use every second that you get.
And right now with this entire
Otherwise,
shift.
jump off a building.
Don't listen to that. That's just a better.
No, I'm serious. I'm serious. Why are you taking up oxygen on the planet?
True.
If you want to be average, just,
So everything has an opportunity cost.
Of course.
Every single thing,
Of
right?
course.
Every single thing.
But see, we've got enough people like me who are coaches, trainers, who can give you the shortcuts to life. The life hacks, we call them. Why not use them?
But you actually believe there are shortcuts in life?
Of course, all the time.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So basically going against that entire mass of people who are saying there are no shortcuts, no shortcuts.
No, there are hundreds of shortcuts. Please take note. I'm willing to stand by this anytime.
Yeah?
There are shortcuts and there are shortcuts and there are shortcuts.
But why haven't you come out before this? I mean, I'm sure you would have had plenty of opportunities.
See, I was very happy doing what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And this gave me a great lift. I'm moving one life at a time. But I think the time has come now that I have to move a lot more lives. So what we're doing now currently is training more trainers, coaching more coaches. In fact, we're launching a lot of new programs. So my work now is to stop doing the training and the coaching and get other people to do it.
Build the
Yes.
infrastructure, take it forward.
So one part of leadership is being the best that you can be and be acknowledged at that level. The other one is getting other people to be the best that they can be and then to be acknowledged at that level.
At that level, yeah. And
So you create more leaders.
But you constantly work with a lot of, let's say, mid-age people, younger people now.
Yes.
It doesn't come out in limelight, but you constantly work with different associations.
Yes.
You're past presidents at so many of them. And as you mentioned, the OBA as well.
Been there, done that.
Been there, done that,
Most of
yeah.
my presidentships I finished by the time I was 34.
34, yeah. I
Yeah,
remember you
so
told me a very good
most
story
of those
about
leadership
that.
things are past, well past.
Yeah. But as the OBA, put aside, I mean, just in this conversation, probably won't go out in the main set of things. The OBA, for you, just going back to Josephites.
Right.
Because you're somebody a lot of people know because you do a lot of the introductions, a lot of what is it called?
The debates,
The debates,
discussions.
the introduction, what is it called? We all had it, right?
No.
Okay, we all lost the words. The first
Orientation.
Orientation, I'm sorry,
Uh-huh.
orientation.
Okay.
Orientation. What do Josephites stand to gain from an alumni association as big as the OBA?
I think it's the people. Look at some of our old boys. They reach places like most of us would have dreamed of but didn't reach.
Yeah.
So we've got people who have reached that level, that epitome of success.
Okay.
And you know what? All it takes is a phone call. I remember Joe Pillay, he was the economic advisor for Singapore and for the UK government. Yeah. But if you say you're Josephite, he has 6 levels of secretaries to screen his calls. But as soon as you say Josephite, it's like open sesame, it just opens all the doors. Straight it goes to Joe Pillay. Now that is the value that some of our old boys like Joe Pillay give to the school.
Because
There's Jimmy Uncle said, there's Sabir Bhatia. I mean, there are so many names I can quote.
there's Ian Faria.
Ian Faria is coming up
Ian
somewhere
Faria
along
is
the way.
coming up.
Yeah.
So what's your plan, sir? Now, what are
My
we
plan
doing
is to
by
make
this?
better leaders for India and then to make India number
No,
one.
that yeah, definitely. But for yourself, what are the values? What is
I'm
that?
just going to continue to be the best I can be and make others the best that they can be. And that's simple enough.
That's it. But
That's enough.
a lot of people took a lot of time to answer this question on the show.
Why?
Because
It's a simpler question.
there are a lot of thinking because everybody was very shocked. Not everybody is very clear about what they want to do.
I am clear.
You're clear.
Yeah.
So
I know what
whenever
I want to do. I know how I'm going to do it. And the more interesting part is I want to make it clear for other people who they should be. One of the things I do is I read people.
Yeah.
I meet somebody in 1
Yeah.
second, I can tell you about them. Their pluses, their minuses,
Yeah.
what they should do to remove some of those minuses, what they should do to enhance their strengths.
So what do I do?
What
On
you should be
camera.
doing is, you've got a very good business sense.
Okay, thank you.
I call that business buddhi. So I learn a lot from my Sindhi and Marwadi friends. Those guys are awesome. They're just, it's part of their DNA.
It's good to.
Guju, huh? Yeah, so that's also good. Guju, Madu, yeah, Sindhi, very good. And I think we need to learn that. And we have to understand in a diverse nation like ours, we've got to take the best from everyone.
Okay.
You got the Bengalis and the Malayalis who are very good on the academic knowledge part of it. But the practical application of that, the Bengalis lost it somewhere along the way. The Malus who understand that hardcore, how to put your hands in, get your hands dirty and move things forward. So you see, they achieve a lot more than the Bengalis do.
Okay.
Although the Bengalis, by their talk and their sweetness, they do reach the top as well. So we have to know what is our strength, what is our weakness that is pulling us down, and how we can in between play with taking this and making a very potent mix.
Okay.
It's the formula that makes the success.
Makes a success,
Yeah.
But you consider everything.
Yes.
It's
It is a
inclusive at the end
combination.
of the day.
Yes. And more than that, in today's world, in this VUCA world, it's how you network. And you talked about the OBA, that's one of the best things that we got is a network. It's already given to you, man. Tap it.
I think a lot of people should listen to this, and I think this will bring a lot of more people on board to come.
They should be on board. It's in their interest and in the interest of those who are already there.
Yes.
The bigger the numbers, the more the power.
Of course, everywhere. It's
Yeah.
a numbers game.
Yeah, it is a numbers game. But more than that, this is not just a number game. These are not just idiots who are coming together. These are brilliant guys.
Yeah.
These are already successful people. All they have to do is to pull in one direction. And that direction is in the greater glory of all.
Yeah. And coming to numbers now, there's one thing which is going on. Wide, this is a movement
Mm-hmm.
where everybody says, no, you've got to quit your job and become an entrepreneur.
No, I don't believe that's true.
Startup. That is the way to success.
That is foolish. And that's why 90% of all the startups fail within the first year.
Yeah.
And out of the balance, 90% sales fail in the second year.
Second.
So there's hardly 1-2% people who really survive and succeed. So all of us are chasing that big dream of those 1 or 2% of people. But I think a lot of us are better suited towards a job. A lot of the high profile, the old boys members today are not entrepreneurs.
Yes.
But they have made a lot of money
Yeah.
just doing a profession.
Yeah.
And I think all of us have to understand that. We have to tap into our best self.
You can master one skill set and you can move forward.
Yes, yes.
You don't have to.
And professionalism is good, I mean, some of the companies today are paying you big fat salaries for being at the top.
Definitely.
Better than actually doing business.
Yeah.
So why not take that? That's the easy approach.
Yeah. You've got the cushion there. So you're basically saying, I mean, from the gist of whatever I can get, you're saying that there are different ways to do shit. Just pick something which is suitable to you.
I
and
didn't
go
say
on.
that, you said that. I'm saying there's different ways to make gold happen.
No, that's what I'm saying. Different
So-
ways to make gold happen, but
Yeah.
then each has its own. Everything is suited to each person in its own way.
Yeah. And all of us can thrive and survive. It's an abundant universe out there.
Okay.
We don't have to, mess each other up to get what we
Or
want.
follow anybody.
We don't have to follow anyone. You can create your own path. And today's world gives you more options than any other time in history.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so it's the outlier today who can make it big. It's
Yeah.
the one who can step away from the beaten track.
And you can actually make it big. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I forgot what I had to say, but yeah. I mean, this is a very, to be very honest, a very different kind of interaction for me.
Okay.
Because I thrive on this philosophical, quotation.
Let's talk some philosophy anytime.
Yeah. So I thrive on it. But then I've just met, you're a guru, in fact, leadership guru. I should bring that up.
Uh-huh.
Leadership guru. A lot of people say that soon you'll be #1 leadership guru in India. What does that mean to you? That should be something where,
See, what it comes down to, Vinay, and I'm going to say this out clearly, it's about how you sleep with yourself at night.
yeah.
And, as long as you don't hurt anyone for some personal gain, as long as you do what you think was right, it doesn't matter whether the world thinks you're wrong. A lot of people thought the Wright brothers were wrong when they tried to fly. A lot of people thought that Dr. Christian Barnard, when he did the first open heart surgery, they thought he was wrong. They thought he was trying to play God. Didn't matter. I'm so glad the guy continued.
Correct.
So it's these outliers, the guys who go against the grain,
Against
who
the
make
system.
it. Magellan, you can go on quoting through history. Mahatma Gandhi for India.
We can just keep.
Vinay Jain, future business leader.
Because, thank you.
Yeah.
Interpersonal communication. You meet, I think 10, 20, 30, 40 people a day. You're the person who meets everybody.
Yeah.
You meet so many people. And I'm the same guy, but on my phone I'm meeting 30, 40 people a day.
Wow.
But what's the difference? What do you think?
The difference is what you make of it and how much joy it gives you.
Okay.
I prefer the face-to-face.
Okay.
So a lot of people say, you don't even check your damn messages. I'm saying, yeah, I don't need to. You have a problem, give me a call. As soon as I finish what I'm doing now, my phone's in silent mode. As soon as I finish this interview, I'm actually going to sit and make all my missed calls.
Oh, nice.
But that's my order of events. I might not check my messages till late this evening.
Okay.
Then I'll respond. But by end of day, I will clear my mailboxes, my incoming messages and everything.
So you want to have, so that personal touch is very important for you.
For me, it's very important.
And you're not even saying that, okay, the other thing works for you, works for you. This
No, it works for
this
you, it's fine, yeah,
This
go
works
ahead.
for you.
Whatever floats your boat, man. So you do what you have to do.
So what floats my boat is confusion. And everybody's boat is filled with only confusion today.
Okay.
Because there's so many alternative careers out there. There's so much you can do. So how do we pinpoint and say that, oh, this is what we're good at?
Be comfortable. See, as long as you're comfortable with today's confusion, as soon as you find a path or clarity on the road ahead, you go with that.
Okay.
So if you have 5 options of career in front of you, and you don't know which one, develop all 5 till the extent that the universe starts to give you 1 or 2 as major career paths. Take those 2 verticals higher. Still there's confusion. Is it plan A or plan C? Do me a favor. Let the universe take another call.
Okay.
And then if C is coming up bigger, brighter, better, switch to C. You can always take A later, or you can go back to B, D, E after some time.
So you believe
It's
in the
not
power
the end of the world.
You
Yeah.
believe in the power
I believe in the power of the universe.
Yes.
I believe there are no accidents. I don't
Yeah.
believe in randomness.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I wasn't this way till maybe 10-15 years ago.
No, but power of the universe saying that. So they say attraction.
Yes.
But for me, now I want to attract success, or all of us want to attract success.
Yeah.
But right now we're doing one particular thing and say, no, we want to be successful in this. Now let's say if I'm doing business, I want to be successful.
Saying
in
it
this.
is not good enough. You have to believe it with every fiber of your being. Every chromosome in your body should be calling out the same thing.
So that you want it.
Yeah, and then you set out that that impulse into the universe that draws what you want to you.
And this works.
It's a quantum field, yes.
This works.
Thought has energy. As soon as you send it out, you create that vibe that draws what you want to you. And thoughts become things.
There's so many people who I think that get it wrong. Just get it wrong about a lot of things.
See, the interesting thing is this, Vinay. The more people that get it wrong, the better for you if you got it right.
Of course, I get the better chance, right, of being successful.
That's also karma.
That's like how the stock markets work, right? Let them get it wrong. Let them speculate and get it wrong.
Yeah, some people will look at it and not see a pattern.
And
still there are smart guys like you who see a business opportunity and go with it.
Not just me, like you also. You're an entrepreneur yourself also at the end of the day. You run so big companies.
No, I'm happy. I'm very successful place and I'm very happy with where I am.
That's because you're content, right?
Yeah.
With what you're happy. You're saying this is content.
See, I do what I love, Vinay, and the world pays me for it. So, that's a validation like no other.
Correct. I mean, so contentment. Shall we talk about contentment or no?
Let's do that. Whatever you want.
No, I think contentment.
This is your interview, so you take it wherever you
This is a
want.
conversation we want to have. A conversation we want to have more than an interview.
Call it conversation, dialogue, everything. I'm fine with it.
But
As long as somebody benefits, I think that's the most important thing.
okay, but contentment as a whole. What is contentment? You meet so many people. Everyone has a different version.
Contentment. You know, you have an ice cream, you feel good about that ice cream, you're contented for the moment, right?
Yeah.
But that's temporary contentment.
Okay.
That's based on taste, it's based on the number of calories you're getting in that moment.
Okay.
I think contentment for me is a little bit more long term. How many lives have I touched? How have I helped India grow? For me, it's very important to see India grow.
Yeah, you're very India centric, right?
Yeah, I am. I'm passionate, I'm patriotic Indian.
So are we going to see you with this digital outburst soon? Where everybody gets to access your thoughts?
Yeah, I really want to touch more lives, and I want to touch more lives so that other lives can get better.
Get better.
You know, I'm in a nice place. I can just retire on this. But is that what I'm doing to fulfill my purpose? I think all of us can look at a lifespan of about 120 years.
Okay.
So yeah, of course.
Okay.
The longest living people on the planet are living to about 120 anyway.
Yeah.
And those guys don't know how much I know
Yeah.
about health and nutrition and longevity. Yeah, so you go to lifeexpectancy.com and see the numbers. India is pretty low on that index.
Yeah. Well, that's also because a lot of other factors, a lot of external factors, right?
Yeah, I'm not even going into that. I'm saying it's a study all on its own.
Okay.
But people like me who believe that they can live till 120, and then we are.
Yeah.
I mean, that's minimum. So when do I retire? I'll decide at 100. Right now, I'm not interested, man.
Till that Talk Temple will become the temple everybody goes to. Talktemple.com. Let's talk about Talk Temple. I don't know why I not brought this up, but talktemple.com.
Okay.
This is like how people go to meditation camps, people go to, yogic centers to, get a life change. But you do this and you don't, people who want income, they attract themselves.
It's called word of mouth publicity.
Correct, but I'm saying people are attracting what they want. They want whoever is coming is attracting something which is bringing them there.
Yeah. And we are building numbers now. So we are building a lot of leaders for India. My firm belief is you have 100 really passionate leaders, Vinay, you can change this country just like that.
Fully.
Yeah.
We can do that.
Yeah.
So when we do one for the youth.
Let's do. You guys are serious?
We are serious.
For how long?
However long you want us to. Because
That's
I have one goal as well, India centric. But I believe India has opportunity. So I had to take a decision. This is 5 years back when I had to graduate and I had to go out to study. So I was blessed and privileged enough to choose what I wanted to do.
Right.
But then I chose Asia mainly, nothing more than that. Asia. Because I knew Asia is the opportunity in the future, especially from the field like I'm in finance at least. But then things change and now I realize India is the opportunity overall.
India is the place. India is the place to be. And one of my visions is how do we make India thought leader?
Yes.
Number one. Number two, how do we make India product capital of the world?
Yes.
Innovation product capital.
Yes. Yeah. In fact,
we got enough brains here to do anything, man.
Anything, yeah.
Anything. And I want to call this out, boss. We are the best country on the planet. And that's why I stayed here.
Yeah. Of course, you have the opportunity. You can take the flight and you can leave, right? You can go to UK.
I could have gone anywhere.
Anywhere you wanted to go, right?
Yeah.
But that is inspiring.
This is the country.
It's inspiring to see people like you, staying back, actually doing, sacrificing. It's a sacrifice.
I don't think it's a sacrifice. I think this is what I was called to do.
Yeah.
And I'm just doing that. So there's no sacrifice involved here.
Yeah. But how are you so confident? What is self-confidence? Is it built over a period of time or is it something that...
I went to this nice school called St. Joseph's.
Yeah. Boys' high school?
Yeah. And we were trained in confidence there.
Yeah.
And we did kabaddi matches and we did all sorts of nonsense. But let me tell you, everything that we did, it built a little bit more of that edge in us. And we're a highly competitive group. So most of my classmates reached very high places. But I believe it's the school that gave us the environment.
Yeah.
So there are two things that build us up very clearly. One is nature or genetic code, comes from your parents and your grandparents. But the other one is nurture, and it's the environment. But nurture more than the environment is the choices you make in that environment.
Okay.
Some people found St. Joseph's was too heavy, so they left. And I don't know, they may have won, they may have lost. But I think you had a better success chance if you were in rather than out.
Is it just word or will and have?
No, it's a combination of all of that.
Okay.
Yeah, it's all about making sense of the decisions. I believe who we are now is a validation of what you did or did not do.
Okay.
and nothing is by chance.
Okay. But then back in your day,
It's cause and effect, you know, everything
and
leads to
effect,
everything else, yeah.
But back in your day, the number of career choices were limited.
Yes.
I mean, I wouldn't say limited, but the information available was not as easy as it is for us
No,
today.
even career choices were limited.
Limited, okay.
Like my mom told me, either you become a chemical engineer or you become a doctor. I mean, where's the connection? But I wanted to be a merchant navy officer because my dad was a captain. I sailed with him and I wanted to be like him. But see, that's the wrong way to choose a career. I realized that 7 years later.
And then you left.
Yeah.
And then you did construction and then training. And
Yes, then I did construction. And people ask me, how can you do construction? You don't have a BE, you don't have a BArch. And I said, I have intelligence.
Yeah.
And I learned.
But why do you leave that? I mean, you build a lot of fancy properties around Central
Yeah, I
Bangalore.
thought it was a very corrupt line. I thought, you know, I didn't want to be with people who were going to be equated to thugs and hoodlums.
And plus back in the day it was
Yeah.
that time. Is it better now or?
I don't know. I don't want to judge something. I'm not in that now, so I don't want to judge it.
But then there's so many now.
But I'm very happy where I am.
Yeah.
I'm very happy where I am. I used to be a builder of buildings. Now I'm a builder of people. And I think that's eventually building the country.
I want to get that. That's a nice and Paul's plays very well. That's like a poem we can write around over this thing.
Life is a poem.
Life is a poem.
Yeah.
But yeah, alternative careers.
Oh, today's world, look at the careers that are there. Just, phenomenal. So my daughter Nicole, she chose the line of being a model and she went on to become Miss India, Miss Earth. And then she did some few movies, but she refused to compromise on what she was doing in the movies. So they wanted her to be like, sex symbol.
Okay.
And she said, no, I want to do an old lady role. And nobody was giving her an old lady role. So she says, no, unless I get the role I want to play, I don't want to play movies.
And that all of this, not just in Nicole's case, but in everybody's case, comes down to value, where you have to stick to your value system.
No, and she did that, and we backed her up. See, basically all her decisions are her own.
Yeah.
We didn't stop her.
So I'm saying, but value systems for a person.
Yes. So it's value system. Her value system was high because of how she was brought up.
Yeah. Correct.
And so I don't see any flaw with the line if people have good value systems. The question is, what are you willing to pay to get what you want?
Yeah.
And I wasn't willing to pay more in the building line, so I said, no, I don't like this corruption and, this line with a lot of black money and all that. So I said, no, I'm out of here, boss.
Okay.
Yeah, so I have no regrets looking back.
Yeah.
Some of my friends are worth a few thousand crores today.
Yeah.
And that's fine. So they got that much more money. But I got this much more satisfaction.
And that much more impact to create.
Yeah, and what would I do with that much more money? I need only this much.
I mean, the mere fact that I'm sitting here, the big generation gap, and having this conversation with you, I think that is impact in its whole. And whoever's going to listen and read this, or even watch this is going to be impact.
Why are you sitting and talking to me and wasting your time when you
I'm not wasting my time. What I'm
they're
doing,
chasing some women?
No.
Let's do your interview now. Come on, just for fun.
Okay.
Why are you here wasting your time?
I'm not wasting my time.
What are you doing then?
I'm here. I'm listening to your perspective.
Why?
Because I see a lot of myself in you.
Wow.
Because one.
You see yourself as an old man.
Yeah, a little bit. In today's.
I'm young, by the way.
In today's contemporary age, the way I function is very old school. Very old school. So I see that one thing, and secondly, that I have an opportunity to bring your story out. We have an opportunity to bring your story out. Which is a fantastic story in itself.
Why do you want to bring my story out?
Because we want to tell people that, listen, every story does not have to be glorified. Every story does not have to be, oh, he's a billionaire, he's making this
so
much
you're
money.
saying, so I've not reached that level of success, so that's why you want to...
No, it's not about the level of success. It's about the level of contentment where you're at today. It's not about the level of success. Everybody believes that whoever's a billionaire is happy.
I was just thinking that this guy really is following me and, I've got such a nice position. And then you say, no, you're actually back of... You know what I'm saying?
No, I'm not saying that. That's what you're saying. That's what you're saying.
I'm having good fun.
I'm having a fun. Sir, if I had to, I think 1 month before, if we thought we'd have this opportunity, I don't know. But we just had the opportunity and we went ahead with it. And thank you for giving us the time for going ahead with it. Because
actually, I'm happy to be here with you, Vinay. So if you had to ask me the corresponding question, why am I spending time with you?
Yeah.
I think the one reason is that I think you're one of the future leaders for India. And that draws me to you. And I feel you can generate a lot more future leaders for India. And really, I'm not worried about the rest of the world, but I'm India-centric.
I'm India-centric as well. You cannot imagine how India-centric I am. Because when my father gave me the choice, okay, when I do a business, I think you're a Marwadi, runs in your blood. Please don't do a job. It was like basically in a very passive aggressive way. Don't do a job and get to the office. He said, find a product. Find a product which you want to sell. And my attention, I caught attention only to those products which were India centric but ruling all over the world. Like what I currently
But you see, you have an innovative product itself.
Yeah, true. Very innovative.
Yeah, and so you made things work. The interesting thing is you took the system and you tweaked it to get what you wanted out of it.
Yes.
And your dad got something of what he wanted,
Yeah.
and both are happy, and that's really what life is about.
Yes.
It's not about being whatever I want or whatever you want, and I'm more dominant, so I push
Yeah.
you.
Everybody wants to be a rebel today. That's something that doesn't get with me. Like sort of a lot of people who have fancy family businesses have the option to create more impact. I was like, no, I'll do a job, I'll go do this, I'll do this. Everybody wants to be in finance, everybody wants to be invest. Everybody wants to be an investment banker, everybody wants to be a Wall Street broker. Like, really? I was that person 5 years ago.
No, but see, to them that's their choice, and I don't see why we should feel bad about
I'm
that.
not feeling bad, sir. What I'm trying to say is that everybody can actually contribute in a much larger manner than what they're doing right now. Everybody feels that they're average. Everybody feels that they're below a certain level or below excellence. But as you said in the start of the interview, you're chasing excellence. You want to be excellent. That is your end goal.
Yeah.
And if you're saying that you're still doing it, I don't think anybody of us.
No, it's not an end goal. It's a means goal. It's a means. It's along the way.
Along the way, yeah. So
Yeah.
if you're saying that it's a continuous process and it's step by step, and there's greater excellence at every stage of
Yeah.
your life,
Yeah.
I don't think anybody of us are even in the position to say anything or complain or give excuses saying that no, we already done what we want to do, because the system is so abrupt today
I
that
got a
20
lot more to do, and I think, see, no, the one thing I want to share with you, Vinay, you guys are in a position to do a lot more for this country than I am.
yeah
Well, I can do it for the next 60 years. You can do it for the next 90 years or 95 years.
yeah.
That's more than
So that's,
more than enough.
I mean, people like it to be, if I could use it, this really pisses me off when people say that what India.
What are you doing about being pissed off? Tell me that.
I'm trying to make change at my level every day as much as I can do. I'm trying to.
Tell me what you did today to make a change.
What I did today to make a change, I set up a company for one of my fabricators. I set up a company and I gave him a company saying that listen, build it for yourself. Get more people under you. That is what I did for change today. And I'm going to take these small steps. I've got into a very fundamental business. In the age where everybody is going to alternative careers, I've got into a very, very fundamental business. But this is what I did today. And I guess that's proof. If you
What
want
is
to
your
see this
funda
proof.
to get into fundamental business?
The funda of mine to get into fundamental business is that would stick. The world will change, but your fundamental, your core business will stick. You will need people to build your houses.
But you're still doing it innovatively.
Little differently.
That's it. That's
Little
exactly what I'm
differently.
saying. Is that, the smaller changes that make the bigger difference.
But why
Atomic habits,
but
they call
why
them.
are-
Small changes every day.
But why are your peers not saying this? All your, I'm not taking names of all the gurus who are your friends, but I'm saying all the
Who
good.
am I to judge them, Vinay? Tell me. This is how I believe, that's how they believe, in the sense in what they're saying, in the sense in what I'm saying. The question is, what are you going to make out of it?
See, sir, I would make something out of it separately. But there's as you all psychology, there's group herdism or whatever, crowd psychology. Everybody's going to it's like a chain, it's like a link. It's just going to pass, saying this. But why is everybody just focusing on the result? Everybody, all the gurus say no, focus on the process. But you
Because
got them are saying
that's what has given good results from the past. But today's world is also about loving what you do on a day-to-day basis and seeing what happens tomorrow. And really, let me tell you, one wise man said, take the first step. It doesn't matter if you can't see the end of the stairwell. But keep on taking steps. Confucius said, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step.
correct.
But he didn't say it stops at the first step. He said it begins with the first step. It means there are more steps to take.
Yeah.
And I think that's all we need to do.
Okay.
And Confucius is not a today, modern day philosopher.
Everyone's got to be
He's an
confused.
ancient guy, we keep on quoting him. But so it all depends on what makes sense for you. And life will keep going up and down.
Okay.
And it depends on which part of the curve you are.
Okay. But one small example that I want, this photography business which all of us are into, or this camera business, how do we make that a multi-million-dollar business?
Very easy. You have to be so good at it that people are willing to pay you more and more money. And there will come a time that you'll be charging by the minute.
Okay. So one thing which we do is, at least all of us here in the room believe in consistency, and there's one question which we end it with, always, an interview. People today say, be so and so and so and so, be a particular type of person. But when you're trying to manipulate yourself to be something else, you're not keeping it real.
You're right.
So how do we keep it real? How do we make sure that whatever we do, we're still keeping it real?
See, a flower that grows doesn't try to become the bee that pollinates it or the river that flows next to it. All the flower can do is be a better flower tomorrow
Okay.
and do what the flower does best,
Yes.
which is to have pollen grains and get cross-pollination happen and to produce some seeds from the cross-pollination that will ensure the next generation happens. All we have to do is be the best that we can be at this point of time.
And this.
Don't try to be somebody else.
Okay.
You know, if a pussycat tries to roar like a lion, although it's the same cat family, that pussycat will have bad vocal cords.
Okay.
So pussycat will be better off doing meow and rubbing itself close to you and get a lot more love and attention.
Yeah.
But the lion is the king of the jungle, it's the wild beast that has to show power. So lion is to become the lion and the pussycat is the pussycat. And that way the whole of the universe is in balance.
So thank you so much, Ian. So,
My pleasure.
thank you so much for giving us your time. I think this will create a lot of impact, and we hopefully will do more of this.
I look forward to it.
Because we need people like you. To be honest, India needs people like you. Because all of us are following our contemporaries in the United States. In
No,
UK,
don't
in
chase
Canada.
them. They'll come back someday, don't worry.
Yeah, because it's become the trend has become wear a hoodie, wear joggers, wear shoes and go for a meeting, but you're the boss.
If you love to wear a lungi and chappals, just go ahead. Mahatma Gandhi changed the world, you can too.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, all the best.
Thank you.